All right, guys, welcome. Live stream should be starting up right now. 11-game main slate to go over NBA. So obviously we have a ton to talk about. If you guys are just coming in, make sure to leave a like button on live stream, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And let's hope for another solid night. Bielitsa pushed me into the cash in the showdown slate. Almost had a takedown there. Main slate fell a little bit short because of Dusty Aldridge, but it is what it is. Again, this is 11 games. Super excited to have a big slate on the docket. And let's get into it. So guys, make sure to leave some questions in the chat. All right, Noah said LaMelo and Triple J or DeJounte and Nurkic and cash. It's going to be the second one. I would never play Triple J in cash games. I know he's going to be relatively popular today, but a guy like him, a guy like Daniel Gafford, I just would never touch in cash. There's I would say greater than 50% chance they get in severe foul trouble. So you got to weigh out those risks. The upside's high in Triple J, but the floor is low. So just wouldn't touch him in a cash game setting. Stars and scrubs, it's going to be the popular build, right? With so much value on the slate, it's going to be the popular build. Now, there's still some solid plays in the mid-range. But it's going to be hard to get away from some of that value for sure. I like Ja. I don't think Ja's going to be super popular today. But I think he's a good play today. Williams, Murray, Harrell, Achua, Barnes. Wait, so hold on. There's so many Williams. Which Williams are we talking about? Yeah, there's like 20 Williams. So you clarify that. You might a Torrey Craig season? No, it's never Torrey Craig season. Cool guy, what's up? Rakan, hey, what's up, man? Kansas, how's it going? Marcel, what's up? What's up? My question was thoughts on OG cover answered. I think OG's in play. I think OG's firmly in play. I've got asked about him a couple times in the Discord too. He's only 6.1K. My only issue is all right, how many Toronto guys do you want? Because there's two guys that are cheaper than him that if they both start, and assuming they do, they're going to look better point per dollar. So then it's a question of, again, how much exposure to this game do you want? Right? It's obviously a game where there's some guys that are severely underpriced. So in a game that stars and scrubs, you have OG in the mid-range. Does it make sense to go there? I do. At a normal slate, I think OG would look really good. On this slate, I think he's just a little more contrarian because the way it sets up. Dusty, I'm still tilted about that. Jaylen Brown limited tonight? No. It was just COVID, right? So he's good to go. I haven't seen anything of a limit. Don't think there will be. He's good to go. Besides that feeling, Embiid and Tatum, I like Embiid a good amount. I love Nurkic. You guys, draft him in best ball. He's a little bit tougher to get to again because it's a stars and scrubs slate, but I think he's someone that could really break this slate. I kind of want to play him. I think if he stays out of foul trouble, he plays 30 to 35 minutes. And he should be able to feast against this Sacramento front court. So I think the only worry with him is foul trouble. And he is a guy that is in foul trouble a decent amount. I do like Nurkic. I think he's a sneaky play tonight. I don't think many people are going to get to him. Van Fleet, I do like Van Fleet. Again, same thing I said about OG, though. It's how much exposure do you want to that game? Do you want to have 5 to 6 guys? Because as much as I like that game, I don't know if I want to have 6 guys in my lineup from that one game and 11-game slate. So that's my only real concern with it. I do think you can definitely stack that one up, but it gets to the point of all right, 3-4 guys, I think that's solid. 5, 6 on 11-game slate, I don't know if I want that much exposure to that game. Jokic or Sabonis, that's a good question. Small Celine to Sabonis, the matchup a little bit better, but I think both are great plays. Grant Williams or Rob Williams? I'm not playing Grant Williams. No, not really on Jaylen Brown. Dinwiddie, Ja, Rose, Levine, Sadiq, Barton, Achua, Stewart, Sabonis. For the value, would you also try? I think Monte Morris is fine. I think he starts. Probably prefer Bones for the price. In my opinion, that lineup is too balanced, right? We have too many clear value plays that I think you're making a mistake with that. Just my opinion, though. Robert Williams, firmly in play. When I played him in the preseason, he shot 0 times. He played 21 minutes and shot 0 times. Now, I know that's an outlier. Robert Williams is usually a pretty solid point per minute guy. He is prone to foul trouble. I think he's viable, but not my favorite play on the slate. Ja, Zach LaVine, or Chris Paul, LaMelo, which one? Probably the first one. I don't really want to play Chris Paul tonight. Maxey, Van Fleet, Giddey, Sabonis, Nurkic, Jalen Green, Randall, and Dinwiddie. I think it's a solid lineup. Thoughts on Achua? If he starts, I think he's a good value. Now, the only concern with Achua is Chris Boucher is back. But, like, what's that going to do for Achua's minutes? Because Achua looked really good in the preseason. And Boucher can also play some of the 4, right? He's not strictly a center. He can definitely play the 4. So maybe they just, like, X out Khem Birch out of this rotation. Because I think Precious Achiuwa looked a lot better than Khem Birch in the preseason. So maybe a few less minutes for a guy like Precious. But again, you go and look at his price, right? He's 3.1K. If he starts, you think he plays, I would say, at least 20, 25 minutes. He's been very productive in the preseason. So it's like, even with Boucher in, I think Precious looks really solid. Grant Williams, no. Never Grant Williams. Favorite spin up besides Embiid. I don't know if I don't even know if Embiid's my favorite spin up. You got to make some tough calls, right? I think there's a lot of value at guard, so probably a lot of people are going to spend up at center and forward. So guys like Embiid, Jokic, Sabonis, Towns, you got to make some really tough calls with those guys. I don't have a super strong take. Again, I do think some of these guys in the mid-range are going to be very low owned because the way the slate just kind of works, so there's so much value. So there's a couple sneaky plays. Again, I mentioned Nurkic kind of in the mid-range. Let's see. I think LaMelo's kind of sneaky in the upper mid-range. Again, we've talked, a few people mentioned Van Fleet. I think he's solid. But again, like how much exposure do you want to that game? I do like Lonzo a good amount too. I think he's going very overlooked. He was phenomenal in the preseason. A guy that doesn't have to score to get you there is going to play at least 30 minutes if there's no foul trouble. So I think another kind of sneaky play there is Lonzo. Anthony Edwards or Murray. It's DeJounte Murray by a pretty wide margin for me. I'm not very high on Anthony Edwards this year. D'Lo being fully healthy is definitely going to hurt Ant-Man. He's not going to handle the ball as much. He didn't look great in the preseason either. I know it's not like a huge indicator, but I'm not very high on Anthony Edwards this year. Coming from a Celtics fan, do not play Grant Williams. Do not. Any Orlando player you like, yes. A couple guys I mentioned for Orlando. Now, I think the bigs look the best here. They actually started Wanakar Jr. and Mo Bamba together last couple preseason games. Both are solid point per minute guys. I like both bigs here for Orlando. Those are another two guys in the mid-range I think are going overlooked. Bamba probably a little bit riskier. He's prone to foul trouble. But I think both these Magic bigs look good. All right, where are we at? Trust Kuzma or fade. You can play him. He's a little more reliant on the scoring. He's definitely a riskier target on Washington. Favorite game to fade? Probably the Utah game because blowout risk, and I'm just the only guy I'd consider in the Thunder would be Giddey. So I guess that game. Thoughts on the Denver guards? Good question. So Denver guards without Jamal Murray. Monte Morris is probably going to start. It's going to be him, Dozier, and Bones Highland kind of in that rotation. If I was going to roll the dice on one of these guys, I think I would just roll the dice on a min-price Bones Highland, who looked good in the preseason. But I think all three are contrarian plays in the slate. I think there's better value on the main slate. Prize picks. Yeah, so I like the over on Scotty Barnes. I'm not sure if that went up or not. He was only like 23 fantasy points, which is way too low. Let's see where he's at now. He's still only at 23. I like the over on Scotty Barnes. Let's see. That one for sure. Like I just think that's too low. I think there's a couple more too, but yeah, I think that one's the clear one for me. I thought I saw Steven Adams on here at like 20, low 20s, and I like the over on that too, but I can't find him right now. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I like the over on Steven Adams too at 25. I think that's too low. Let's see. Some DK thoughts on Maxey Green, Barnes, Sabonis, Embiid. Yeah, that looks pretty solid to me. Bane. Yeah, I think Bane, if he starts, is a good value play. Tatum or Brown. Tatum. Brown. Yeah, Jaylen Brown not as high on. Is it contrarian to play stack value centers or guards? Is it contrarian to play to stack value centers or guards? I think there's more value at the guard position, so I think going value at center will be more contrarian. All right, guys, we're almost at 200 concurrent viewers. Only 20 likes. Make sure if you're coming in to leave a like button and subscribe. It does help me out a lot. Sabonis, Van Fleet, and Melton or Jokic. OG and Jalen Green. So Sabonis, Van Fleet, and Melton are OG, Jokic, Jalen Green. Ooh, that's a tough one. If Melton starts, it might lean to the first one there. If Melton comes to the bench, it's going to be the second one. GPP, Lillard, Beal, MPJ, Mobley, Pirtle, Maxey, Grant, Montrezl Harrell. I think it's a little bit too contrarian. I think you're fading too many of the clear values. You can get contrarian on this slate, but you don't want to get too contrarian. I think it's too contrarian. Who should I take at 5.1K? Let's take a look. Mid-range, again, a little bit difficult to get to some of these guys. Let's see. I'm fine with Robert Williams for Boston. If he stays out of foul trouble, probably plays at least 20 minutes. I think that's viable. I think Pirtle's relatively safe too. But I think the guy for me would be Dinwiddie at 4.9. I think that is too cheap. So I think I'll go Dinwiddie there. Good small forward. What do you mean? What price range are you talking about? Thoughts on contrarian, Sengun, Cantor, McGee. I don't think you go to McGee on this slate. I think he would be more of a showdown play. Sengun and Cantor, I do think are viable contrarian plays. It's just a matter of how many minutes they're going to get, right? They didn't want to give Cantor a ton of minutes in the preseason, which is a little bit worrisome. Now, we know Cantor doesn't need a lot of run. And if Robert Williams gets in some foul trouble, you could see Cantor have a really good game of low ownership. So both those guys are risky. And then Sengun's a guy you guys know I'm very high on, but it's just a matter of, all right, so how many minutes is he going to get in the regular rotation, right? Preseason, he was getting some solid run. How many minutes does he get in the regular rotation? I would say a fair guess for Sengun minutes, probably 15-ish, 15 to 20. And I think there's other guys around that price range that you can expect like 30-plus minutes for. So right now, those would be the two guys I'll consider, but they're definitely contrarian. Trey Murphy, I don't know if I honestly, that Pelicans rotation is a big question mark for me. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to do a starting lineup. For some reason, they've been starting a couple of guys that should not even be in the league. Like Garrett Temple started a couple games. They have a lot of wings, right? They have a lot of, I don't know who they're going to start. Like Ingram and JV are going to start. I don't know who else is going to start. Probably Najee Marshall. I'm not sure if NAW starts. Is it Devontae Graham? They have Sandaransky too. Like Garrett Temple's been starting some games. They have Hart off the bench. Like I just don't know what this rotation is going to look like. So I'm probably going to pass on Trey Murphy for this one. Randall or Tatum? Randall. Garrett? No. Which ball brother do you like of the two? That's a good question. I actually like both today. I think LaMelo's going to get more ownership. So for GPP's Lonzo. DK, are you liking more of the mid-range guys tonight? I think it's more contrarian since there's so many good value plays. Yeah, so like questions like, favorite value plays, stuff like that. Go over that on Patreon. Got to save some stuff for Patreon members where I'll talk about, what I think is the best build, where I'm going, my strong leans. The guy I was hammering home last night was Bielitsa. So if you guys want to access that, it's down below. But I hope you guys can understand. Just questions like that I can't really answer. But like 1v1s, 2v2s, for sure can answer those. Would you play Grant? Jeremy Grant? I'm guessing that's what you're talking about? No, I'm not a big fan of Jeremy Grant. What do you let's see. Let's go. You didn't get a notification? That's weird. What do you think about Gafford? I like the upside in Daniel Gafford. I think both centers are firmly in play for Washington. Both are solid point per minute guys. Gafford, same thing I said about Triple J. He's very prone to foul trouble. So that's the risk. If I knew Daniel Gafford was going to stay out of foul trouble and play 27 minutes tonight, I would very highly consider playing him. But the risk is there's a better than 50% chance he gets in severe foul trouble. And if he does, then Montrezl Harrell is going to be the beneficiary. So I like both centers today for Washington. Gafford a little bit riskier, though, because of the foul risks. Let's see, what else we got? Lonzo or Murray? That's a good question. That's really close because DeJounte Lonzo's on the more loaded roster, but he's looked really good. I think the safer play is probably Lonzo. I think the upside play is DeJounte Murray. That's a really good question. Adams or Robert Williams? Another good one. I think Adams is safer. Rob Williams has more upside, but again, more prone to foul trouble. Murray or Dinwiddie? Are we talking about, because there are different prices. Are we talking about DeJounte Murray? Yeah, I'm guessing you're talking about DeJounte Murray. So I prefer Dinwiddie point per dollar. If you have the salary, though, for DeJounte Murray, I'd rather play him straight up over Dinwiddie. But looking at the price, Dinwiddie looks way better. Scotty Barnes or Harrell. I think Scotty Barnes is a little bit safer, more confident in his minutes. Mitchell Robinson with Taj out. Did Taj get ruled out? Did I miss that? Hold on, let's see. Okay, wow. But yeah, we just got that news. Taj and Nerlens Noel out. Huh. Okay. That's very interesting. So, yeah, I do think you can consider Mitch Robinson now. With no Noel and no Taj, the only other center on the roster is Jericho Sims, who probably gets that backup run. But, yeah, now I think Mitch Robinson's viable. I don't think he's a must. I don't think you have to, jam him in. But that does make him in play now. Yeah. Alex with a $5 super chat. Thank you, man. Trying to throw us off with Grant Williams trail, huh? DK not fooling me. And yeah, definitely. It's never Grant Williams season. I don't care how many players are out. Unless they have 8 bodies and it's just all the end of the bench guys, it's never Grant Williams season. Noel out. Yeah, so Noel and now Obi Toppin, he doesn't really get a boost with Taj out. If Randall is out, then Obi would get the boost. But yeah, Noel and Taj out. I do think Mitch Robinson's viable now. Maxey or Jalen Green. So I feel a little more comfortable with Maxey. However, Jalen Green is firmly in play. He just has to hit his shots. I played him in the preseason. He played 28 minutes, shot awful, and had 7 turnovers, something really bad. So the floor is lower on Jalen Green. However, if he can hit his shots, the upside is there. I just think Maxey, with him playing point guard, I think he's a little safer. Forward at 5,700 or under. Let's take a look. 5,700. Yeah, this is kind of a gross range, I'm not going to lie. So I'm not a big fan of RJ. I'm not playing Jay Crowder. There's no way I'm playing Kelly Oubre. This is just kind of gross. Probably Will Barton, I guess, at 5'2". Without Jamal Murray. I think he looked decent in the 2 preseason games that he played. So I guess Barton, but that's not a range I like for forward a lot. Yeah. Wood, yes or no? Contrarian play. He looked good in the last game of the preseason. Other than that, he was kind of up and down. Thoughts on Achua? If he starts, he's a good value. Yeah, guys, we're at 50 likes. Appreciate it. 235 viewers right now, so make sure if you enjoyed to hit that like button. Good question. Duarte or Caruso go? I need to see the Pacers starting lineup. If Duarte starts, then it's probably a small lean to Duarte. If he doesn't start, then I think I prefer Caruso. Caruso looked good off the bench. He'll play the backup point guard. Another good question, Carter Jr. or Achua? So there are different price ranges. If you have the salary for Carter Jr., I think it would be a small lean there. But point per dollar, it's got to be Achua, right? Because he's basically been priced where Carter Jr. is almost $6K. Let's see. Bane, Wood, or Nurk Markkanen. Ooh. I really don't want to play Lauri Markkanen. That Cavs roster is just, I don't know what to do with them. Mobley's really the only guy I feel good about. But I love Nurkic. It would be the second one, I think, and just hope Markkanen gets some solid run. But I don't know how that rotation is going to work out. Thanks, DK. Billy, it's a call last night. Won me the showdown and a single entry. Hey, man, that's great to hear. Congrats. Embiid or Jokic? That's a good question. But I asked that a couple times. I think a small lean to Embiid. I like the matchup a little bit better for him than Jokic. But, both have insane upside. Maxey, Anthony Edwards, as in Bane Barnes. My only concern there is Ant-Man, right? Ant-Man didn't look great in the preseason. I think he takes a little bit of backseat to D'Lo, who's going to handle the ball more, right? D'Lo was out a majority of the year last year, so Ant-Man handled the ball a lot and kind of raised his floor. I think he's going to be a little bit more reliant in the scoring now with D'Lo healthy. So that's one I'm not as high on Ant-Man. Wood or Nurkic? Good question. I think it would be a lean for Nurkic for the price. Thoughts on D Rose? I just don't think I can get to the mid-range guys on the Knicks. I think Randall's the only guy I'm considering. Kyle Kuzma, he's viable. If he hits the shots, he has upside. I played him second to last game of the preseason, and he had a really big game. He knocked down a lot of his threes, so the upside is there. Question is, though, again, how many players do you want from that Washington-Toronto game? YoDK just upgraded to gold. Would you mind adding me to the Discord? Yeah, Walker, can you message me on Patreon? It should automatically put you in there. If it doesn't, yeah, can you message me on Patreon? I can definitely help you out. Thoughts on Brogdon? Don't love the price point for him. Shooting guard 7,100 and under. It's tough. I don't like a lot in this range. So keep an eye on the Pelicans. If NAW starts, I think you can go there. If he doesn't, then you might rebuild. Because I don't know if I want to play one of the Sacramento guards, even though it's in a high total game. I don't really want to play 7K D Rose. I don't really want to pay 6'4" Marcus Smart with Schroeder behind him. So it's kind of a gross range. So if NAW starts, I think you go there. If not, I honestly probably rebuild. Any guards you like for 6K? 6K and below? Let's see. 6K and below. I'm definitely not playing Fournier. I'm definitely not playing Dort. I'm definitely not playing Schroeder. Not really. Killing Hayes if he starts is fine. Again, Barton's fine. Yeah, and then you get down to, I like Dragic and Dinwiddie in this game, but then you're leaving $1,000 on the table. Lamb Bible now could smash. He's playable. Yeah. So Jeremy Lamb's in. I'm guessing he starts, right? Is expected to be active. He's playable. I think there's better value on the slate, but he's at least in play if he starts. Let's see. All right, here we go. Harrell or Maxey? That's a good question. I think Maxey's a little bit safer, but I do kind of like Harrell. Raptors lineup is out. Okay, here, let me bring up Twitter, and let's bring up Fantasy Labs just so we can go over this stuff. So you guys said Precious is starting. All right, so here, let's go here. Yeah, so they're starting Robinson for the Knicks. Okay, so Van Fleet, Dragic, Barnes, OG, and Achua. Okay, that's what I expected. Now, again, with Boucher playing, I think it's makes Achua a little riskier. But I don't see the Raptors starting Precious Achua and playing him like 15 minutes. I really don't think that happens. He looked really good in the preseason. So I'm not as worried about Achua, especially with the price. Again, Robinson starting for the Knicks. He's viable. So, yeah, those are the two pieces of news that we just got. Giddey or Caruso? If Giddey starts, I'll lean to Giddey. But if he doesn't start, probably Caruso. Precious starting, yep. Been missing the NBA video. Great to have them back. Well, let's get it, Josh. Let's get it. Fred VanVleet, Dragic, Barnes, OG, Precious, yep. Precious starting. Sabonis or Randall, Sabonis. Precious starting, yep. So I think Precious looks like a pretty solid value. Any Keldon Johnson, he looked all right. My issue with Keldon Johnson, he's so up and down. He does have some upside, but an 11-game slate, I think I feel more comfortable with some other values. So I'll probably stay away. Tobias or MPJ, that's a good question. Point per dollar, I think it would be MPJ. But that's close. Yeah, guys, we're at over 250 viewers, 67 likes. Again, make sure to hit that like button. Thoughts on Trez? I like Trez. I like both centers for the Wizards. If Gafford gets in foul trouble, like if you get one of those games where Gafford picks up 2 fouls in like 2 minutes, Montrez could smash, right? So I think Trez is firmly in play. Like I think Trez probably plays at least close to 20 minutes no matter what. And if Gafford gets in foul trouble, you could see him play 25, 30 minutes, right? So I do like Trez. Patrick Williams, Bane, Markkanen, they're all fine secondary options for me. Point per dollar, if Bane starts, probably would be him. Thoughts on Rob Williams? I'm fine with it. Preseason was a little up and down. Is normally a pretty solid point per minute guy. So, yeah, I'm fine with Rob Williams. Sabonis or Randall? Sabonis, like the matchup a little bit better for him, but I think both are pretty good plays. Randall's going to play like 40 minutes, right? You just know that. And Sabonis is going to play big minutes too. Maxey or Lamb? Maxey. You like Nurkic? I do like Nurkic. I think he goes overlooked because this is a stars and scrubs slate. Thoughts on DeRozan? Probably pass. I think I prefer Lonzo at a similar price. Let's see. DK. Let's get it, man. Yeah, Ja or Fox? Another good one. Smallest of lean to Ja, but yeah, that's because the Kings actually have some solid pieces now around Fox. Halliburton's decent, Hield's decent, Davion Mitchell's solid off the bench. Again, with Jonas Valanciunas off the court, Ja gets a pretty big usage bump. Suggs or Lamb? Suggs if he plays. Richardson out, probably, but like you don't have to go there in this slate to Pritchard. Dragon, yeah. So Dragic I like. Precious starting, yep. Achua or Scotty Barnes? Well, that's a really good question. If I had to pick between one, I think I'm a little more confident in Scotty Barnes minutes, but I think both look really good for value. Yeah, we just went over the pay-ups. Like, I think there's a lot of value at guard, so I think you're looking to spend up at like forward or center. So like those top guys, right, I don't have a super strong take on them, like Embiid, Jokic, Sabonis, Towns. You can throw Ja, Fox in there too. You got to make some tough calls. Like a lot of them look pretty good. You got Tobias. I think Tobias is fine. The only issue is you have Embiid that probably looks a little bit better, and you have Maxey that looks good for value. So then it's like a question of, all right, how many 76ers do I want to play, right? Jokic, yeah. So Jokic, Embiid versus Towns. It would be a small lean to Embiid there, but like that's not a super strong take. Like I'm not like super confident in Embiid over those guys. Fox or Morant? Another good question. Small lean to Ja. Shea or Nurkic? Nurkic for me. I'm worried about the blowout there in the Thunder game. Maxey or Dinwiddie? Dinwiddie, but I like both. Lonzo, Jokic, and Sabonis, or LaMelo, Embiid, and Randall. Lonzo, Jokic, and Sabonis, or LaMelo, Embiid, Randall. I think a small into the first one. Precious and Barnes together, you can definitely play them both together. You think Embiid's a must? Definitely not. He's not a must. There's 11 games and a lot of other stars that look pretty good. So definitely not a must. But yeah, with no Ben Simmons in a solid matchup, JV's not the best defender. I think Embiid looks really solid. I do think Robinson's in play. I think he probably plays 25 to 30 minutes. So yeah, definitely viable. But value under 4K, there's a decent amount. Let's see. So like Maxey at 4K obviously looks good. Same with Jalen Suggs if he's in. Under that, I think Josh Giddey's firmly in play at 3.8K, especially if he starts. We have Bones Highland, who we talked about. Montrez, I like at 3.7. And then, we went over those Toronto guys as well. Grant Williams, I'm not saying it can't happen, but I'm not playing Grant Williams now. Sims, thoughts on Sims? Mitch Robinson likes to foul. Yeah, but I think it's getting too contrarian to go to Jericho Sims, in my opinion. He wasn't great in the summer league. He looked a little bit better in the preseason. I just think there's too many good value plays in this slate to try to go that route, to try to predict that. And I even think if that happens, they could play Randall at the 5. So I get what you're saying, but I think it's something that's getting a little bit too cute. Is Damian Lillard a lock? Definitely not a lock, but in play in a high total game. Jokic or Towns? Jokic should be at the salary. 7K Lonzo, 7K MPJ, and FanDuel. That's a good question. I think Lonzo's a little bit of a higher floor. Do you like Beal tonight? He'll be low owned. I'm fine with Beal. Again, question of how many players do you want from that game, because there's a lot of underpriced guys. Lonzo, LaMelo, or Dinwiddie. Are we talking straight up or what? Are we talking point per dollar? Point per dollar is Dinwiddie. Straight up probably would be LaMelo. Ja or Fox straight up. Small lean to Ja. Achua or Giddey. We don't know if Giddey's going to start, so I'll say Achua right now. Mo Bamba play. I like Mo Bamba. They started. Those two Magic guys I'm pretty high on. And Bamba and Wendell Carter Jr. I don't think either are going to be popular. And as I said, with the mid-range, it's a little bit hard to get to those guys because there's so many good value plays. But, yeah, Mo Bamba's a guy that can block 7 shots in a game, right? He had 5 blocks, I think, last game. Really solid point per minute guy. And the positive here is if they start Bamba and Carter Jr. together, it kind of solidifies their minutes. Now, the only concern with Bamba is foul trouble, right? That would be where he hurts you. But, yeah, if Bamba and Carter Jr. start next to each other, I think that solidifies both as good plays. And I think both would be under-owned. Let's see, where else do we got? Hart or Josh Jackson. I think it's getting too cute to go to either of those guys in the slate. Nurk and Ball Bros. I mean, you guys know I like Nurkic. It's a little bit hard to get to him, though, on the slate. It is. With so much value. Precious and Barnes together, yeah, they both look good. You don't have to play them both together, but, yeah, 3.4 and 3.1K for starting players in a good matchup. Hard not to like them. Ayton Bridges or Booker and one of the Denver guards, Campazzo or Morris. I wouldn't play Campazzo. So probably the Ayton Bridges one a little safer. Best fade on the slate? I don't even know. I'll say this. I think he's going to be relatively popular. And he's just a guy that, if he does get ownership, because I've been hearing his name a decent amount as being a popular play. If he does get ownership, like high ownership, that's where I'm 100% down to fade. Now, there's no guarantee, but from what I've seen on Twitter, I've seen Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to be chalky. If he is going to be chalky, I am 100% fine fading him because the upside is clearly there. I like Jaren Jackson Jr. as a player, but if he's going to be popular, again, there's a greater than 50% chance he gets in foul trouble. So that's one where I would be fine fading if he is going to be super popular, as people think he will be. Yeah, so Triple J or Wendell Carter Jr., so actually just went over that. If Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to get all his ownership, it's going to be Wendell Carter Jr. CP3 or Van Fleet, Jalen Green or Dinwiddie, best shooting guard under 5,100. Shooting guard's a little tricky today. Under 5,100, it probably would be Jalen Green starting at 42, but then again, you're leaving salary on the table. Booker, Brown, or Porter. So Devin Booker, Jalen Brown, or I'm guessing that's Kevin Porter Jr. I don't love any of them. I'll say KPJ, but I think all three are contrarian plays. Depends what price range you're looking at, point guard. At the top, you got to make some tough calls here. I think like Lillard, Fox, Ja are probably the guys you look to at the top. Mid-range, we have the Ball brothers who we went over. I like both. I think NAW is viable if he starts. And then, value, we went over some of the value already. Maxey, Lamb, Chua. Yeah, Lamb is fine, but I think there's better value in the slate. How many? Yeah, that's a good question, right? Because there's a lot of underpriced guys. I think you could play 3 to 4. Like, could you play 5 and 11 game slate? I could see it working out. They're very underpriced in that game. Thoughts on Caruso tonight? Viable value. I don't think he's going to get that much ownership, but he's been really solid off the bench. So I'm fine going to Caruso. Bane in play if he starts. Cleveland guards, they're a little bit too pricey for me. I think the guy I would look to there would be Mobley. But yeah, Sexton, Garland, a little bit too pricey. Let's see. Do we have any more news? Yeah, Jaylen Brown will play. We expected that. Okay. Let's see. 13 likes away from 100. Yeah, right, we're almost there. Actually, 3 likes away. Sengun with a shot. Contrarian play, yeah. I don't know how many minutes he plays. I would guess mid-teens, maybe more if there's some foul trouble. Who likes Towns? I think Towns is solid. For fantasy basketball, Hart or Josh Jackson? Probably Josh Jackson, more confidence minutes. Thoughts on Pat Williams? In play as a contrarian value play, he's going to start, but he's going to definitely not be high usage playing along the other starters for Cleveland. So more contrarian play for me. Dinwiddie, Green, Barnes, Triple J, Embiid, Max. Yeah, I think that looks solid. Utility under 5K. Again, the 5K range is kind of tricky, right? There's not a lot that I love there. So 5K and under. Is it utility under 5? So if it was 5K, I think it would be Dragic. But under 5K, yeah, it would be Dinwiddie there at 4.9. Also like Gafford, but he's a little riskier. Absolute. Any interest in Hart with Zion out? Probably not. Like there's that Pelican. I need to see what the Pelicans do with the regular rotation because that's a big question mark for me. They have so many guys. Like, how is this rotation going to work? I really don't know. Because like Trey Murphy got some big minutes, but that was in the preseason. So like Ingram, JV, NAW, Graham, Hernan Gomez play the backup 5. Hart's going to play solid minutes off the bench. I think Najee starts. They have Garrett Temple for some reason has been starting some games. Santa Ramsey probably gets some run. They have Trey Murphy. Rookie Herbert Jones. I don't know what the minutes going to be like for this team, so I'm probably going to stay away from the value and just see how it's spread out. What else? Maxey worth a shot, worth the chalk in GPPs. It's an 11-game slate. That's something you can get away from fading, but he does look good. Melton is a sneaky value play. If he starts, I'm fine going to Melton. Anything about Evan Mobley? He's probably my favorite guy in Cleveland. I like the price. I think he probably plays at least mid-20s minutes. I like Mobley. Do I fade Embiid or Jokic to squeeze in Lillard? It would be riskier. The floor is higher in Embiid and Jokic, right? They can just do more of stuff in the stat sheet. Lillard, a little bit of a lower floor. So ceiling pretty similar with those guys, but I think the floor is lower on Lillard, so that's up to you. Shooting guard under 4.3K, Jalen Green. Mobley and Pirtle to contrarian for GPP. Fine with both. 6.7K utility. All right, let's see. 6.7K. I have some interest in IW if he starts, but only play him if he starts. If not, then it's probably Michael Porter Jr. at 6'4 with no Jamal Murray. Is KPJ worth a shot? Contrarian play, yeah. I don't love the price in KPJ, but I do think he probably plays at least 30 minutes. He'll be handling the point guard. In a 3-max, would you double any of the values or look for different in each one, keeping everyone at 33%? 3-max, would you double any of the values? I mean, with the value plays looking really strong today, I would probably play them and then like mix and match my studs. If I was building 3 entries, that's how I would go about it. McCollum or Jaylen Brown? Probably McCollum because the game environment I like a little bit better. I like Nurkic. It's hard to get to him, though. Thoughts on Schroeder? Not for me. Maxey, Barnes, and Chua, Sengun, all good for value. The first 3 are Sengun's more contrarian. Maxey, Green, Barnes, Triple J, Murray, Slow-Mo. What's Slow-Mo's price at? He's going to come off the bench, but he'll get some solid run. He's 5'4". I just don't love the price in Slow-Mo. That's just me, though. What's up, Patrick? How's it going? Fred VanVleet, I'm fine with that. Again, question of how many guys you want from that game. Suggs, Green, Barnes, bonus. Okay, that's fine with me. Towns, Embiid, or Jokic. If you have the salary, probably the smallest of lean to Embiid. But again, as I've said a few times now, that's not really a strong take. Baisley or Scotty Barnes by a pretty wide margin there. Sabonis, Jonte, or Embiid and Triple J. Sabonis, I'll leave the first one. I think Triple J is going to be over-owned. Now, again, I'm not saying Triple J is a bad play. I like his upside a lot, Jaren Jackson Jr., But there's a very good chance he gets in foul trouble. So if he's going to be chalky, like the way I would play Triple J if he was going to be low owned. But what I've seen on Twitter, at least, I'm seeing a lot of people talk about Triple J being chalk. So that's true. If he's going to be chalky, that's where I'm fine looking elsewhere for GPPs. NAW, yeah, if he starts, I think he's firmly in play. Gafford has a lot of upside, foul trouble risk. Montrez, yeah, so if Gafford gets in foul, Montrez probably plays at least 15 to 20 minutes, and if Gafford gets in foul trouble, that's when he could really smash. Gafford or Maxey, I think the safer play is Maxey, but if Gafford stays out of foul trouble, he has a lot of upside. Mitchell Robinson, yes, is in play. Rookie of the year, I think it's Sengun. That's my contrarian rookie of the year bet. But I think he'll eventually start for that team. But like as it stands right now, this slate, Sengun's contrarian. Let's see. Fave play from the late 2 games. So Denver, Phoenix, and Sacramento, Portland. That's a good question. I'm going to say Yusuf Nurkic. Yeah, Fred VanVleet looks good. Again, that game in general looks really good. Beal Nurkic or John Randall. Oof, that's a tough one. I'll say the second one's a little safer. I think there's a lot of good value at guard, so I think the optimal is probably 2 center. Pick 2 forwards, 3,700. So again, I think you go to the Toronto guys there. Yeah, I don't think I have to look. I think you go to the Toronto guys. Sengun definitely worth a shot. Yeah, he's fine. He's risky though. Like I don't know how many minutes he's going to get off the bench with Tice starting. I would think he probably gets around mid-teens, maybe a little bit more if there's some foul trouble. He'll be productive. Again, to win a tournament, you're probably going to need like Tice or Christian Wood foul trouble for Sengun to be in the winning tournament lineup because like, yeah, he can get 30 fancy points in 15 minutes, but like, does he play more than that? I think you're going to need some foul trouble. Yeah, Raptors, it's a good question. I think you can probably play 3. Green or Caruso with Lonzo. So if you're playing Lonzo, you probably go Green there. Giddey for all the money. I think Giddey's in play for sure if he starts. Thoughts on this? Ja, Levine, Barnes, Sabonis, Nurkic, Maxey, Achua, and Dinwiddie. I think it's pretty solid. Levine's the one guy I'm not as high on. The only reason I say that is because last year he handled the ball a ton. This year the ball is going to be in Lonzo Ball's hands. So his floor is a little bit lower. I think the upside is still there. He just comes riskier. Yeah, Jalen Green for shooting guard under 3,300. Thoughts on Kemba? I'll pass. Thoughts on Beal? Contrarian spend up. I think the chalk is to spend up a forward or center. Tobias Love, he's fine. Murray lock for me. I like DeJounte Murray. Yep. No, I think DeJounte Murray looks good. Suggs or Maxey. Guards at 7K. 7K guards. I think Lonzo and DeJounte Murray would be the 2 guys for me. Lonnie Walker, nope, not for me. Thoughts on Brad Beal. Contrarian spend up. Upside is there. Yep. Bane if he starts or Giddey. That's a good question. I think the floor is a little higher on Giddey. But that's a tough one. That one that's not super strong take. Who do you take a shot on at min price? Let's see. Min price? Probably Bones Highland. It's risky, but he's min price. And he's going to be in the rotation for Denver. Fave game to stack? I think it's got to be the Toronto-Washington game one, yeah. The best value plays, we kind of went over that already. Favorite value at shooting guard? Yeah, shooting guard's kind of gross. So Jalen Green at 4,200 looks solid. Jalen Suggs as well. I think those are probably the 2. And Caruso. Those are probably the guys you look to for cheap value guards. I'll pass on Thaddeus Young. I just don't think we have to go there. Dinwiddie, Jalen Green, Barnes, Sabonis, Embiid. Yeah, that looks pretty solid to me. Can you take a shot in Grant Williams? I wouldn't. I mean, yeah, he's just too... It's not necessary. With all the good value in the slate, even though he's starting, I'm just telling you it's not necessary. Is Maxey a must? No, but he looks good for value. Pick one of Kemba, Schroeder, or Derrick Rose. I don't really want to play any of them. I guess Kemba. Barrett seems kind of cheap. He does, but I think there's better plays in the mid-range. McCollum, Sengun, or Maxey and Wood. I think it's got to be Maxey and Wood there. Any change with Rozier out? So did he got ruled out? I know he was questionable. I think it's a small boost to LaMelo. Now, what are they going to do with the starting lineup? I'm not exactly sure. Dinwiddie, Beal, KCP, Kuzma, Gafford starting for Washington. Wait, is he out? I thought he was still questionable. Yeah, I see Rozier is still questionable. So probably wouldn't go. Like, I don't think I'd go to any value on Charlotte. So yeah, it's probably with Rozier out. If he is out, probably small boost to LaMelo, but that's about it. Maxi Beal, Barnes, Achua, Sengun. Okay, again, it's fine contrarian build. Ja Morant or Fox. Small lean to Ja. Again, that is close though. Dinwiddie, Bradley Beal, KCP. Yep, okay, we got that. Hey, DK, Chua, Barnes, probably Barnes more confident in his minutes. Duarte or Highland, it's a good question. If Duarte starts, it would be Duarte for me. Ja Levine, Scotty Barnes, Sabonis, Nurkic, Dinwiddie. Okay, yep. I'm thinking Giddey over 10.5 points, easy money. Yeah, if he starts, I think that's not a bad way to go. 5K and under forward. Yeah, I think we kind of went over this. It's just a gross range. Yeah, so there's no one that I love. I would say Evan Mobley at 4-5. Dinwiddie, Jalen Green, Barnes, Achua, Jokic, Maxey, Sabonis, Lillard. No issue there. What a Boak night starts for Charlotte. Then he's a fine contrarian play. However, he is pretty reliant on the scoring. I think there's better value on the slate. Schroeder or Rose. I don't really want to play either, to be honest. I guess. What are the prices? I just think that's getting too cute. Like Rose is, yeah, he's almost 7K, and what's Schroeder? 5.9. I guess Schroeder for the price, but I don't really want to go to either. OG or Barnes. Straight up OG, point per dollar, it's clearly Barnes. Would you consider Duarte? I think he would be a solid value. He would play the off guard, right? Some of those preseason games, the couple of preseason games where he had the massive upside, he played point when Brogdon was out, so the floor would be a little bit lower. However, if he does start, I think we probably get at least mid-20s minutes. So I think he'd be firmly in play. Any love for Nurkic? I like Nurkic's contrarian play. It's hard to get to because his price, with it being a stars and scrub slate, but I think Nurkic looks really solid. Tatum, Sabonis, or Randall? Sabonis. Is Randall a lock? No, he's not a lock, but I think he's very safe. Like, the next starters are going to play big minutes. Dinwiddie, Van Fleet, or Maxey Levine? The first one for me. Thoughts on Mitchell with Noel and Taj out? I think Mitchell Robinson is viable. He does have some upside. Not a must, but is definitely in play now. Definitely in play. OG or MPJ? That one's tough because OG has the much better matchup, but then again, it's like how many Raptors you want to play. I think you flip a coin there. I don't have a good answer for you. Thoughts on Markkanen? Yeah. I don't know what their rotation is going to be like, the bench rotation. They have him. They have Kevin Love. They just have so many bigs. I would think Markkanen probably plays around 20 minutes. So I don't think it's necessary to go there. Favorite, 3,500. Probably Precious and Sabonis viable. Yeah, I like Sabonis. Get him out. Maxey, Precious, Barnes, Peyton together. Is that Peyton Pritchard? In my opinion, I don't think it's necessary to go there. The other three obviously look good. All right, guys, I can stay on for another minute or two. So any last minute questions, throw them in here. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys checking this live stream out. We are, about 350 concurrent viewers. Really crazy stuff to think about. 130 likes. Thank you, guys. All right, what else? DK, good luck tonight. Question. Thank you, man. Randall, Embiid, or Sabonis and Towns? I don't think you can go wrong with either. If I had to pick the second one, but I like both options. I feel like Jalen Green is going to ball out tonight. The only issue with him is he's pretty reliant on the scoring. But I think he plays big minutes. With no Lowry in Toronto, Van Fleet should go over 20.5 real life. Well, I'm getting those 20.5 real life points. If he hits his shots, there's still some other guys that can put the ball in the bucket. KCP, viable. I think there's other Wizards that look better, though. Thanks, dude. Yeah, of course. Sabonis and Towns. Yeah, stars and scrubs kind of night. Yeah, it's what it's setting up for. So the mid-range is going to go pretty low-owned. 4 Raptors too many? I think you could. I think you could do it. Favorite? Okay, thanks for the live stream. Yeah, of course, man. Insight, yeah, appreciate it. I'll say favorite overall play, you're going to want at least one from Toronto and Washington. I'll just say that. You're going to want at least one player from that game. Embiid, Jokic, Dame, Embiid there, LaMelo, Beal, Barnes. Yeah, that's a fine contrarian build. Beal, I don't think he's going to be super popular. Thoughts on Suggs, Scotty Barnes, Sabonis, Embiid. That's a solid build too. Lillard, a little more contrarian as well. Good luck, everyone. Smart or Barrett? Barrett, but I don't love either. DeJounte Murray or Lonzo, another good question. I think the floor is a little higher on Lonzo. I think the upside is a little higher on DeJounte Murray. Lonzo's got more star power on that team, where DeJounte Murray is kind of the guy, right? But I'm going to call it on that one, guys. So good luck tonight. I appreciate everyone coming to check this live stream out. Let's hope for some big winners, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Double stream tomorrow, Thursday Night Football and NBA slate. So good luck tonight, guys.